Hey Jay, how are you?
How you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good, thank you. How's things? How's things?
Mate, firstly, let me apologise for being late.
That's
Got
fine.
a, I got a phone call off the club at 5:30 and I thought, oh, this would be a quick conversation. We haven't got off the phone until afterwards, so I apologise for that, mate.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. How's things? Are you lot back in training now? Are you training?
Nah, mate, it was a bit of a conversation to try and plan out what's going to be what. We're waiting on the results tomorrow. Most of the results were in today, and then we'll find out for a definite yes or no tomorrow. But to be honest, I think it's looking more no than yes.
Okay. Now I was hearing because I spoke to some of my friends who play in the conference. They're saying that it's looking like that they're going to be playing the playoffs. Stuff.
I think, yeah. To be honest with you, I think like League Two, League One. I think most of them are all going to just pretty much be playoffs, and that'll be the only way they're going to decide. Teams who are obviously in the promotion places will go up straight away, and then the playoffs will just be the only games that are probably played in League One and League Two and lower.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, I just want to talk about football, a bit about your footballing journey.
Yeah.
Just want to start off like where you grew up and where you started as a kid.
Born and bred on the Wirral by Liverpool, just outside Liverpool. Playing for a local team with a load of mates, and at 7 years of age, just got a nod and said, "Listen, would you like to come over and have a trial?" So obviously said yeah. Went over, signed paperwork for 6 weeks, and luckily within 4 signed, and then was there up until 20. I left at 22.
Yeah.
So bit of a long journey right the way through the academy into reserves and then onto first team.
What was it like? What was it like coming through the ranks at Liverpool?
Do you know what? It was tough. It was you had to be like obviously committed. You had to be the dedication you had to put in as well.
Yeah.
They were long weeks. They were 3 times a week training with a game for a weekend. Obviously, I was very fortunate enough to play for my team that I supported as well, which made it a lot easier. But it was just a real joy. You were playing for the team that you support, you loved, and it was just exciting times, and it was something good to look back on and be involved in.
I wanted to ask you, Jay, when you're growing up and you're coming through the academies, and now you're hearing that you might be in and around the first team, what was that feeling like before you got your chance, down Anfield?
I think it was more nerves than anything, and probably pure excitement because, like I said, I joined at 7, and then I've worked from 7 years of age all the way through to, at the time when I was first made my debut at 19. I'd worked literally for that moment I'd worked for maybe 13 years. Well, no, what's that? 9, and obviously 9 in the year. Maybe 12 years to try and for that moment. And it was just sheer excitement of, listen, I'm going to have to go on here and just have a crack and have a go and enjoy myself and show what I was about.
No, that's sick. Coming through the ranks, like, what was the learning for seeing people that you would have saw people like Gerrard, other midfielders that played in your position that you could look up to or take something out and bring into your team? What was that like? Did you learn a lot from them?
Do you know what, mate? I'll be totally honest with you. I was centre off up until 18.
Serious?
Yeah, centre off. Yeah. And I get the same reaction when I tell everybody. Which was strange because obviously, as you say, I'm not the tallest man in the world, but I managed to win 2 youth cups at centre half, and then went up to the reserves, and it was Rafa that pulled me into his office straight away. When I left the academy, went up to Melwood. Rafa just called me in and said, "Listen, you're going to be a midfielder. You won't be able to make it as a centre half in the game. You're going to be a midfielder and get ready. You're going to learn the role, and then you're going to go on in your career." So I was like, happy days, no problem. Wow. If it made me be a part of the first team and have a chance, then I was willing to do it, obviously.
No, that's it. That's it. When you did get your chance now in the midfield, was you still comfortable, or did you feel like at first did you feel out of place?
It was a new role I had to learn, obviously. But Rafa called me and said, "Listen, we obviously can see that you're a ball player. Yeah. You're comfortable on the ball, and you obviously read the game well. You can read it, and you can got vision as well." So he said to me, "There's not going to be a lot more difference to move on to." It was just obviously learning the exact positioning more than anything, really. Being centre off, obviously completely different. You're at the back, you can see everything in front of you. In the midfield, you need to have obviously like a 360 rotation, and it was good, and it was a nice learning curve. I had Gary Ablett as reserve manager. Yeah. He was outstanding with me. He was brilliant, and then obviously being able to go and train, like you said before, looking up to the players that I was very lucky to look up to at the time. It was Stevie G, Alonso,
Wow.
Mascherano, and then Lucas was coming through as well.
Wow. Big players, big players. When you did get the opportunity, like you said, that a hell of a, can't explain what you must be going through when, you know, coming onto or wherever you make. Where do you, Anfield, you make debut?
No, made me debut at PSV away in the Champions League. There was me, Stephen Darby, and Martin Kelly. We all got on the same night, and we obviously dream come true for the three of us, and they made even better with the three of us being on the same pitch at the same time. But then my Anfield debut was Real Madrid at home in the Champions League.
Wow, wow. What was that like? You've talked about coming to the ranks with Steven Gerrard, Alonso, Mascherano, Lucas. What was that? Madrid. Who would have been their midfielders at the time?
Well, firstly, it was just, again, pure excitement. Rafa just called me down and said, listen, you're going to get 25 minutes. I want you to go and enjoy yourself and do what you've been doing in training. And I just obviously remember thinking, right, okay, mum and dad are in the crowd, friends are in the crowd. Just go, we're 3-0 up at home, obviously, against Real Madrid. It can't get much better. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go on and just enjoy myself and just kick a few people and see what happens. And then, like I say, it's just one of them things where I just loved every single minute of it and just had to take it with both hands and just love it.
What was it? What was the situation? What was that for you when Rafa left?
It wasn't a massive change. I think when Rafa was still there, I was only getting certain bits of time. I was still obviously trying to get. I was on the bench quite a bit. Had the odd minutes here and there, but it wasn't a lot. Yeah. When Rafa left, it was obviously then they brought Roy Hodgson in. Roy, I think before Rafa left though, there was a bit of a turn in the club. The club was changing. We'd lost a few players. We'd lost Torres. We'd lost Alonso. A few more were talking about leaving and whatever. And then once Roy Hodgson came in, it was a kind of a transition to the club. The new owners came in, which the fans weren't happy about. They promised all sorts and didn't deliver. So probably the time when he came in, it was a bit of a mad transition. It was an opportunity that I felt, well, in this transition, it's an opportunity for me to try and grab a shirt and play. And bit by bit, gradually, Hodgson gave me more and more game time.
No, that's great. That's great. Was you upset, obviously, getting game time, like knowing that you have to leave? Not knowing that you have to leave, was like a, you know, that's coming for you. It was up to you. You wanted to take something that you wanted more games.
Say that again, sorry.
Like, you know, when you under Roy Hodgson,
yeah,
you played a few games, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, there was a time, I think, was it Bolton? You left for Bolton.
Yeah, well, once Roy Hodgson left, they brought Kenny Dalglish in. So that was probably my most successful time at Liverpool.
Yeah.
I played, I think about 37 league games that year. We had the run to the Carling Cup final. We had the FA Cup final. And played in both competitions. Played in the final of the FA Cup. Obviously, we lost to Chelsea, but we won the Carling Cup. So winning silverware with a club, and it was unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? It's a dream come true. And then it was tough, but I think once Kenny left and Brendan Rodgers came in, we had a conversation with Brendan, and it was a very very honest conversation. That I just felt that with my progression over the last 4 years at Liverpool and playing more and more games, he couldn't promise me the game time, and that was simply all it came down to. So I felt like I needed to go on loan. So I went on loan to Bolton for the year and had a very successful season with Bolton.
No, that's great. When you look, obviously you've done everything. Do you think your time done anything more? Or
do you know what? I don't think so, because I knew when I walked off that training field and I walked off that pitch, I did everything I could. I didn't leave nothing behind. I did everything to the best of my ability. I knew I wasn't the greatest player in the world, but I did what I could with what I had. I was very fortunate enough to go and play nearly over 50 times at Liverpool Football Club. And it come to a point where the football mattered more than what was on the other part. It come to, again, a point of I'd played in the Champions League, Europa League, the Premier League. I'd won silverware with the club, FA Cup final, and I'd ticked off all the boxes I'd ever dreamed of doing. So it was just more then about me building a career and carrying on my career for as long as possible and playing football at the end of the day.
When you did leave, did you sign for Bolton or was it you went on loan?
I went up the first year I went to Bolton was on loan.
Yeah.
And it was a class year. Loved it. We lost out on the playoffs by goal difference. It was good, but I got Northwest Player of the Year. I was Bolton's Player of the Year and stuff like that. So it was a very good time. And then we came back in the summer. I went back on loan. I went on tour to Australia with the club, with Brendan Rodgers in the first team. And literally the second I landed in Australia, we had 2 bids from Blackburn and Bolton. And it was a tough 2 weeks because then Brendan had kind of made his mind up that I was going to be on my way.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for Stevie, I wouldn't have played any minutes at all in that pre-season tour. He kind of forced the gaffer's hand and said, "Listen, he's been great for the club. He deserves it. You can't obviously treat him the way you want to treat him at the minute." And then after I got back, mate, just made the decision because I've had such a great time at Bolton the year before. It was an easy option for me to go and sign a long-term contract permanently at Bolton.
No, that's good, man. From a skipper like Stevie as well. That's like for someone like he don't like you're the man of the club. Like him speaking to the gaffer. Was he always like most of the players?
To be honest with me, from the day one, from when I went in, he was incredible. Him, Carra, even Skirtle, Glenn Johnson, Crouchy was there at the time. Just all the boys, they were fantastic. You know what I mean? They took us under the wing, and really helped us out and brought us forward. They wanted us to do well because being local lads, even more so. At the time, there was me, Martin Kelly, John Flanagan, obviously Stephen Darby came through as well. And it was just a real enjoyment to be doing it with your friends and then having the likes of Stevie G backing you. And then obviously at the end of the day, that year came when Stevie G was my captain, who was my idol. And then obviously the King was the manager, who was my dad's idol. So it couldn't have gone any better the year before I left, you know what I mean? So again, I know, repeat myself, but I'd lived a kid's dream of doing what I've always wanted to do.
No, that's it. I want to take there, yeah. Obviously, we see Stevie G do a lot of crazy and amazing things with the ball. Can you give us anything that he's done in training that out of this world?
Do you know what? It'd probably be tough to pick one because every single day in training, he was the best player by a mile. Wow. His attitude towards training, his commitment to get better and even improve from what he was, it was scary. And to just like work with him every day and see what he could do with the ball. He'd always just say, "Listen, right, it's going there." And I give him the shooting practices or whatever, and bang, in. He'd go, "Right, next one there, bang, next one in." Do you know what I mean? And it was just insane of what he could do with the ball. Not just him, but for me, probably the best 2 or 3 trainers that I've ever been involved with were Stevie G, Luis Suarez, and Xabi Alonso. The 3 of them were just insane. You would never know that they were some of the greatest players in the world because their attitude never and their camaraderie never come across that way. They hated losing games in 5-a-side. They hated getting tackled off the ball. They always wanted the ball back. They were always the loudest in training as well, so you could see why they were at the highest level.
And you see, when you're amongst them people, all that jobs up.
Yeah, and that's always the way that I think from day one, from the Liverpool way, as you say, obviously people has a bit of a cliche, but when you come through the academy, there's signs everywhere saying the Liverpool way. And I was brought up that way, and I've not changed since. Wherever I've been the same. I've been vocal. I've always wanted to be the best man on the pitch in training. I've always wanted to be the best man on pitch of a weekend. I'll always try and help others out as much as possible. I don't shut up. I'm probably quite quiet off the field, but when I get on the field, I'm a completely different character. And I think that's just the way I've been brought up. And I've just, you know what I mean? I've just took it as much as I can, and I'm just keeping going and going for as long as possible now.
No, that's it. Obviously, you're skipper now.
Yeah.
How's the been going at Blackpool?
Do you know what, mate? It was a difficult thing at first because obviously with the ownership and everything, the Oystons were poisonous. They were strange. You know what I mean? It was a difficult time. The club was in a real rot. We were playing in front of 2,000 fans. The fans didn't have the club back. And that year was difficult. It was mad. We were washing our own kit. We were getting packed sandwiches for dinner. We were having to travel to games by train. You know, just all mad stuff that you don't really see, obviously off the field. But since they've left and this new owner's come in, he's been incredible. The fans have got the club back, thankfully. The fans have come back in force. Have been behind the lads week in, week out, whether win, lose or draw. And you know what? The club's got a real good feel factor about it again. The town's buzzing, the club's buzzing, and the owner wants to take the club places. So fingers crossed it can keep improving and going forward.
That's it. You know, when you said that there was things going on upstairs, what made it difficult? How to keep that, you know, that focus and the mentality that what's going on upstairs don't bother? Because like you said, traveling on days or on trains and that is difficult. I know people say you can't situations as an excuse. It does play a part. You know, traveling on a days, food, and you're washing your own kit. Like, I just want to ask you, how that when you deal with it?
Do you know what, mate? Is a real shock to the system. I won't lie to you. I'll tell everybody exactly the same thing. From where I've been before, I was very fortunate enough of obviously these things never really happened.
Yeah.
So when I first went, it was a real shock. It was something new that I had to learn. But at the end of the day, for me, I was still very, very lucky that I was playing football every day for a living. And I loved waking up to football and going to play football every day. And if it meant I had to wash my own kit, if it meant we had to train different in different places, if it meant I had to travel on a day to a game, I'd still try and prepare as best as possible. But it was just something that I had to get used to. Thankfully, that's now changed and we're getting looked after a lot better now. But it was just one of the things that you have to get on with it, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I know that I was still playing football. I was playing what I loved doing, so I was still happy to be part of it.
When you was a kid, or growing up, even on the journey, Liverpool and Bolton, was there ever a situation or a time where, I don't know what might have gone on in life, whether injuries or just disappointment not playing, was you ever in a dark place?
Yeah, mate, yeah. At 16, I just signed YTS, just left school, and in the first game of the season, I broke my leg.
Wow.
I broke my leg on the Saturday. I had an operation on the Sunday to put a metal rod into my tibia. I had 2 pins at the ankle and 2 pins at the knee. That kept me out for 8 months. So that was probably a real dark time, probably a really tough time. Just simply leaving school and then obviously not having that injury. Watching all the boys go out to train every day, and just I felt like my chance had gone. If it wasn't for family and friends around me, and then I'd say mum and dad and Steve Harvey and Dave Shannon at the time, mate, it was a real tough time to get through, but they promised that I'd come out the better side, and thankfully them times passed, and I was lucky enough for that first year to get back for the semi-final of the Youth Cup, which we then went on to win, and then obviously a captain decided the year after to win it as well. So I think that put me in a real good mind frame going forward onto my main career.
No, that's it. Because at the moment, I think, like you said, you were 16 at the time. Yeah. At that age, I want to ask you, do you think you know like the mental side of the game?
No.
And you said you were lucky at your family. You didn't think you'll get through this. Do you think a lot of people situations, but they ain't got the mental on the other side?
Yeah, I would agree with you, to be honest, mate. Yeah, I think at that age, a lot can change. You're still a young boy. You're still learning. You're still a young man. And if things don't go your way at that age, you can go down obviously the wrong road, or you can like lose belief or lose confidence in yourself, and you can go down that way, and it might not work for you. But again, like I said before, I was obviously very fortunate enough to have a family to back me. I do think that probably the ages between 16 and 18, I do think that there should be maybe a little bit more in academies to help lads because if you look at the numbers of people that get through and the numbers that don't get through, they are obviously a lot more than the lads that do. So I think even if there's a lad that still thinks that they're going to go through or not, I still think there should be a bit more mental side of help to prepare players for both up and down.
No, I totally agree with you. I was gonna say, like you said, coming through the Liverpool ranks. Was there ever a moment that you thought, you know, there's a lot of good players here. I might not get a chance, or I might not make my debut. Or was you a kind of person that had that, you know, attitude that it's gonna happen? Do it?
I personally had the attitude of going, right, I'm going to knock anybody out my way that's going to be in my way. But I also had the thing, this is Liverpool Football Club at the end of the day, and we can go and buy whoever we want.
Yeah.
When I first went up to Melwood at 18, like I said before, there was Stevie G, there was Alonso, there was Mascherano, and they just bought Lucas as well. So I knew straight away, Jesus Christ, this is going to be a tough ask to get even close to get through. Obviously, I've been very fortunate enough to where a manager like Rafa believed that I deserved a chance to go through and have a go. I think at the time when I first started to play, though, I think Lucas had just got injured.
Wow.
And it's just one of them things where obviously a little bit of unluckiness or a little bit of thing goes down for one player, that next player comes in and obviously trains with the first team, and I have to take my chance. And I'll always remember getting a nod of like, come on, Lucas is injured, you're going to train with us like constantly now. And I just felt to myself, listen, I've got to grab it with both hands and don't leave anything on it. And looking back now, it was one of them things where I thought, you know what, have a go, see what happens. And luckily for me, it worked.
No, that's it. Jay, I wanted to ask you, yeah, are you so involved in football where when you're at home, after you finish football, like you're still watching football, are you a football freak, or when you're at home, you're not really involved in football like that?
Do you know what, mate? I absolutely love it. I'm not going to lie to you. I absolutely love it. I go coaching at the academy, Liverpool Academy now as well on a Thursday. So I'm getting all the coaching badges ready. I watch every game that's on the TV. As you can probably tell, I've got a bit of a room where I've got the football to escape to. I've got 3 daughters, so I needed this space for me to get away from them all. So yeah, no, mate, I live and breathe it. If I'm not obviously at football and watching it, or I'm with my nephew, getting him ready to play football, do you know what I mean? So as much as possible, mate, I live and dream it. But there is a lot of players that are completely opposite, and that's their personal choice. It's not right or wrong. Some of the best players in the world would literally switch off from football as soon as they leave the training ground, but they'll turn it on like a flash when they arrive.
Okay, let's take it away from football for a minute. What do you like doing away from football? Like, there's no football. Like when going on Sunday, that guy.
Do you know what? I would say probably spending time with the family. I'm a massive family man. As I said before, I've got 3 daughters who they literally keep me on my toes 24/7. I love spending time just playing golf, going on, obviously the time of the pre-season, it's the middle. We obviously go on holiday and just spend time, just relax, switch off completely. But still, the older I get, the less time I get to switch off, because I've obviously got to get fit again to keep up with these young boys, you know what I mean? And try and chase them around the park. So, but no, mainly just literally just spending time with family and playing a bit of golf and just chilling, really.
No, that's it. That's it. I wanted to ask you, now we're coming to the end of the... Who's the hardest player that you've played against, or that was so good that you think, fuck me?
I always tell exactly the same person every single time, and it was Modric. We played Spurs at home, and I think he hadn't been at Tottenham long, and he was insane. He was frightening. Anytime you felt you were close, it touched the ball away. It'd change your movement. It'd shuffle to the side. It'd take it away from you. And honest to God, for 90 minutes, I think I just chased him around the field. Could not get anywhere near him, mate. And I was absolutely like knackered at the end of it, and just thought, thank God we got a draw there, because he was a player that I just thought, wow, I couldn't get anywhere near you.
Wow, that's crazy, Luka Modric. Well, to finish it, hey, I know a lot of people have a difficult time with this.
Yeah.
I know you're still playing journey, but your best 11 players that.
See, now a lot of people hammer me for this, because but the players that I've been very lucky enough to play with, they're some of the best in the world, so I can't leave them off the team.
Of course.
So for me, I'd have to go as start 11. Would you say?
Yeah, 11.
I'd say Pepe Reina in goal. He was both-footed. He could play out 5-a-side on a Friday, and you had no idea he was a goalkeeper. He was so good and such a good person as well. I'd say Glenn Johnson at right back. I'd say Jamie Carragher, Martin Skirtle at centre half. Left back, I'd have to say Marcus Alonso. We played at Bolton. You can see technically then his free kicks, his time with the ball was unbelievable. Who else can we go for now? I would then have to do like a three in the middle of the park of Stevie G, Alonso, and Mascherano. I don't think I need to explain any of them three. I think they've done enough in the game to explain themselves. And then as a front three, I would go Sterling, Suarez, and Torres.
Oh, big three. Big. That's and you still like you missed out like Alonso, a couple others.
Yeah, no, mate, it's tough. Do you know what I mean? And it's again, I know it sounds obvious of picking them players, but like at the end of the day, I was very lucky enough to play with them, and I loved every single minute of it. And they made my career, look back on my career, and obviously still playing now, but they make it feel even more so, and they make it even better that I enjoyed it at the time I had. Like I say, the players went on to bigger and even bigger things. But I could pick just as another 11 of like obviously some of the lads that I play with, like obviously the Bolton times and that, you know what I mean? So it like that, I could like flip it either way, but overall the best 11 would have to be obviously the ones I've just said.
No, thank you so much for your time, Jay.
Don't be daft, mate. I say apologies again for being late, but I thought I had to get on to it.
It's fine. I hope your family stay safe and wish you all the best, my bro.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, mate. You too.
Take care.
Look after yourself.
You too.